Students, today we are going to study very interesting things. You can see here a picture of crop, then production from these crops and these people working in the field. So dear students, today we are going to study about crop production and management. So welcome for the session in crop production and management. In this session we are studying about food from plants, then agricultural practices, then increasing crop yields and food from animals. Dear students, you can see here one farmer, and this farmer is growing crops in his field and taking help of bullocks for this. So, when we are growing plants for animals to get food is called as agriculture. Then, when we are growing same type of plants on a large scale, that is in our field, that time it is called as crop. So, you have studied about agriculture and crops here. These crops, they provide us with food. So, we call them as food crops. Now, these food crops are of different types. The first type is cereals. Wheat, rice, then maize, etc. are the cereals. Now, dear students, second type is pulses. When we talk about rajma, moong, etc., arhar dal, beans, that time these are called as pulses and these are the food crops. Here, dear students, I have taken an example of pineapple for food crop. You can take example of banana, watermelon, apple, mango, pomegranate, etc. Along with this, we are having vegetable food crops too. I have taken example of beetroot, and you can consider carrot or drumstick or spinach or fenugreek, etc. Now, dear students, farmers, they are working continuously throughout the year in their fields, and according to the months they are working in year, there are two seasons of field practices. The first is Kharif season, which is starting in month of June and ends in month of October. While second season, that is Rabi, that starts in month of November and ends in the month of April. In these two different seasons, different types of crops will be grown. In Kharif season, farmers grow rice, maize, cotton, groundnut, etc. While in Rabi season, farmers grow wheat, barley, pea, gram, etc. Now, dear students, when farmer is working in his field throughout these two seasons, he is using different processes or practices. So, here are the agricultural practices. The first agricultural practice is soil preparation. Second is selection and sowing of seed. Third is irrigation. Fourth is called as weeding and crop protection. Fifth is harvesting and storage. Students, soil preparation is having subtypes, that is ploughing, or substeps. You can say first is ploughing, second is leveling, then third is applying fertilizers. Students, we are going to study about these agricultural practices in detail. So, the first agricultural practice is soil preparation. Here, farmer will plow his field with the help of bullocks and plow or with the help of tractor. This ploughing method helps roots to reach deeper in soil. It also helps the aeration of soil. It helps to get moisture for more longer time period. This ploughing movement brings nutrient-rich soil to the top, which helps plants for healthy growth. We are applying fertilizers, and after ploughing, these fertilizers mixed with soil very well. And this method of ploughing the field also helps in weeding. Now, dear students, there is one organism who is helping farmer naturally, that is burrowing earthworms. These earthworms live in the soil. They continuously loosen and turn the soil. The dead and decay of plants and animals will be eaten by this, and it converts it into humus, which is rich in nutrients. So, this is called as friend of farmer. Now, dear students, after plowing, we are doing the leveling of soil which has been moved and turned. Then, dear students, we are applying fertilizers. Fertilizers help to increase the fertility of soil, and hence there are two types of fertilizers. The first is natural fertilizer and second is chemical fertilizer. We obtain natural fertilizers from plant and animal waste. These help to increase the humus content of soil. Examples of natural fertilizers are manure, compost, bone meal, and bark of neem. When we think about chemical fertilizers, they are chemical substances and they are produced in factories. These are not going to increase the humus content of soil. Examples of chemical fertilizers are urea, ammonia, sulfate, and potash. They are helping plants to grow with necessary nutrients. Now, dear students, we should understand that if these chemical substances are used in excess amount, they are going to pollute our environment, water resources, and also they are going to harm human beings' health. So, overuse of chemicals must be avoided. Now, dear students, we are moving ahead with our next agricultural practice, and that is selection and sowing of seeds. Selection of seeds is very important thing. When we select good quality and healthy seeds, we get good crop and good yield from that crop. National Seed Corporation is institute in India that helps farmer for selection of good seeds. After selecting the seeds, we need to sow them in soil. So, dear students, we have selected the seeds and now we are going to sow them in the soil. When we plant seeds into the soil at appropriate distance with correct depth, that time it is called as sowing. Now, this sowing can be done manually or it can be done with the help of seed drill machine. Dear students, manual sowing is also called as broadcasting. We are going to sprinkle the seeds into soil or we can dig the soil and plant seeds. But this results in uneven distribution and planting seeds at incorrect depth. That's why most of the time farmers are using seed drill machines. These seed drill machines can be pulled by tractors or with the help of bullocks, and every seed will be planted at correct depth and evenly distribution will take place. Here you can see the seed drill machine used for sowing, and here you can see the hand or manual sowing seed. It is also called as broadcasting, and these are the selected good quality seeds. Now, dear students, we are moving ahead. Here we are studying about the third agricultural practice that is called as irrigation. Irrigation is about providing water. When we are providing water or applying water artificially to the field or soil for the proper growth of crop, it is called as irrigation. Now, dear students, irrigation is showing two methods. The first method is called as traditional method and second method is called as modern method. Dear students, traditional method uses different methods like canal irrigation or furrow irrigation, chain pump method, moat, dribble, rahat, etc. methods. Here in this picture, first two pictures, they are showing the traditional methods. In modern methods, dear students, we can see drip irrigation and sprinkler irrigation. Here in the pictures, last two pictures are showing modern methods of irrigation. When we compare these two methods, traditional and modern, the traditional methods are cheaper, but they are leading to wastage in water. But here in modern methods, we can save water, but these methods are costly. So it depends on us which methods we are going to use in our field. Here we have studied about the irrigation, that is third agricultural practice. Now we will move towards the next agricultural practice, but before that you have to understand that excess use of water in fields causes waterlogging condition. in which less water will be available, less air will be available to plant roots, and also it will increase the salt content of soil. So here, dear students, excess water should be avoided. Now, dear students, let's move ahead. We are going to study about weeding and crop protection. When we think about weeding, weeding is the process or method of removal of weeds. What are weeds? Weeds are the undesirable plants. They grow with our crop plants. Crop plants are desired plants or wanted plants. But these weeds, they are undesirable or unwanted plants. And these plants are called as weeds. And removal of these weeds is called as weeding. Now, dear students, here for weeding, we can use two methods. First is manual weeding and second is use of herbicide. Now, dear students, here we are studying not only about weeding but about crop protection too. So here, when we are doing manual weeding, we do it with the help of hand, and we need to use implements like harrow, trowel, hoe, etc. Now, this method of manual weeding is much time-consuming method, and maintenance of implement is also costly. So, dear students, when we are doing weeding with our hands, we can sometimes destroy our desired crop plants too. So that's why most of the farmers nowadays are using weedicides. Dear students, when we are using weedicides, you have to remember that these are the chemical substances we use to destroy the weed plants. And along with this, we are protecting the plant from the pests, means organisms like rats or insects, with the help of chemical substances called as pesticides. Now, contact with these chemicals can harm the health of human beings and other animals. And some stresses of these chemicals can be hazardous for humans and if they enter in food chain. So, we should wash our grains and vegetables thoroughly. Now, dear students, here you can see pictures that are showing manual weeding and spraying the weedicides and pesticides in our field. Now, dear students, let's move to the next agriculture practice, that is harvesting. After growing crop very nicely and protecting it with weedicide pesticides, we are getting completely ripened crops in our field. So when we are going to cut these crops and we are going to gather the grain, that time it is called as harvesting. Dear students, harvesting is having few different methods and steps. First of all, we can do it with our hands, that is manually, with the help of sickle, etc. Or we can use harvester machine. Separation of grain from the plant is done by threshing and winnowing. Here, in this picture, you can see different methods. In this central picture, you can see the harvesting of crop with the help of sickle. Here, you are having harvester machine which in combination is doing cutting and harvesting or threshing of the plant. Here you can see these are the female workers. They are threshing the crop and separating the grain from plant body. Now after doing this, we need to separate the grain from chaff, and it is done manually or with the help of winnowing machine. So dear students, here harvesting can be done with the help of harvester machine and winnowing machine. Now dear students, after harvesting and collecting the grain properly, we need to use it. But before using, we need to store it at dry and safe places. So here, storage of grain will be done before consumption. The grain will be dried in the sunlight. Then it will be weighed and packed in gunny bags or bins. Now, when there is large quantity of grain is present, we need bulk storage. And bulk storage is done in granaries or silos. Here, in this picture, you can see that grain has been filled up in gunny bags and kept very safely in clean and dry storage area. Here, in another picture, you can see grain has been stored in the metallic tanks, that is silos. And here, the inspection of these granaries and silos must be done after every certain period. So, periodic inspection is necessary. So, dear students, here we have studied about storage and we have finished the agricultural practices. Now, we are going to study if we want to improve quantity and quality of crop production from our field, what we should do. Here there are two methods. First is called as mixed cultivation, in which we are cultivating two or more type of crops at a time in the same field. For example, leguminous plants and cereals. Dear students, you must be knowing leguminous plants are very much helpful for the nitrogen fixation. Second method here is called as crop rotation. We can cultivate different types of crops in the same field one after other. For example, so after harvesting leguminous plants from field, we can cultivate cereals. In this way, we are using these two methods to increase the crop yield. Why we need these two methods? Because with these two methods, we are increasing the fertility of soil. Now, dear students, how to increase the fertility of soil? We can use leguminous plants for this purpose. Dear students, you must be knowing that leguminous plants are having root nodules in their roots, where a special type of bacteria called as rhizobium lives in these nodules. These bacteria can convert atmospheric nitrogen into the soil nitrogen. This nitrogen, which is present in atmosphere, is very important for plant growth, but plants cannot absorb it directly from air. They need this nitrogen in soil, and this conversion of atmospheric nitrogen into the soil component is done with the help of special bacteria present in the leguminous plant root nodule. So, when we are planting leguminous plants in our mixed cultivation or in crop rotation, it helps to improve the soil nutrient content. Now, dear students, we have studied about increasing the crop yield. Let's study about the food from animals. We are rearing the animals on large scale for food and also for other needs. And this rearing of animals is called as animal husbandry. Okay, students, here is the list of some food products. First is milk, which we get from cows, buffaloes and goats. Second is eggs, which we get from hens, then turkey, then geese, etc. birds. Then we are having third product, that is meat. People use goat and chicken for meat, and some people eat seafoods, that is fish, shrimp, lobster, prawns, etc. Also, we are having here fourth product, that is honey. Honey is sweet in taste and we all love honey. And this honey we obtain from honey bees. So, dear students, we have covered all the points from the food production and management. So, dear students, take care until the next lesson. Till then, thank you.